When life's crazy busy, all I crave is delicious food that's quick and easy to make. So after all of these years, I've come up with a new way of cooking that's completely changed my life, and it's going to take the stress out of yours too. I'm stripping back cooking to its bare essentials, and I'm going to show you some amazing dishes using just 5 ingredients. With so few ingredients, these incredible recipes are quick to cook and easy to remember. The ultimate set of go-to dishes for those of you who love your food but don't have the time or energy for complicated cooking. If you've got a long old list of ingredients for a dish, that's one more reason to not cook, and I want to get you all cooking. Using killer ingredient combos and time-saving tricks. Even the busiest of you will be able to master dishes to bring the house down. Let's make it. In this show, I'm cooking up 4 quick and easy dishes for you to make this week. You mustn't confuse simple with not delicious. This is really delicious. If you think you haven't got time to cook, think again. All you need for these time-saving recipes are just 5 ingredients plus the most basic store cupboard staples. On the menu, brilliant, belting, melt-in-the-mouth mustardy beef. Phenomenal flavour from just 5 ingredients. I definitely serve a spoon with it because the gravy is so good. My foolproof baked saffron and yoghurt rice will revolutionise the way you cook this glorious grain. I just love it and I can't wait for you to try it. Steamed salmon niçoise, a stonking salad that's stress-free, healthy and super simple. That really is a joy to eat. So good. Plus, my decadent plum Tatt Tan. Ridiculously easy and probably the best plum pud you'll ever make. The colours are phenomenal. Look at that. First up, my mega mustardy beef. It's super simple, but melt in the mouth tasty. Everyone's got to have a couple of really good stews up their sleeve, and I'm going to make melting mustardy beef. It's one of my favourites. You'll need shin of beef, carrots, onions, Worcestershire sauce and whole grain mustard. 5 ingredients working so hard to make a delicious, delicious stew. And the great thing about this recipe is it's really quick to prep and slow to cook, which means you're amplifying tenderness and flavour. So let's start at the beginning. Let's start with the meat. I've got a cut of meat here which I want to reconnect you with. It's a shin of beef. Go to your butchers, ask for nearly a kilo, 900 grams of beef shin. And it normally comes with a bone in here like that. Ask him to remove it, but make sure you keep it. This is full of marrow bone, right? So it's like the most amazing stock cube that could go into your food, all natural. So we've got the marrow bone there. That can go into a pan. Now I've got 2 pans. A casserole pan that we're going to cook in, and then a frying pan. And I'll turn them up onto a high heat. The marrow bone can go in and just brown off a little bit. And then I want to slice up the shin of beef into sort of 5-centimetre chunks. Just nice big cuts, really simple, and go straight into the pan for a bit of browning. By colouring the meat, you're going to give the stew really beautiful flavour. Lots of black pepper and a nice seasoning of salt happening as well. Okay, so we've got another casserole pan here, and this is where we're going to cook the whole thing. So let's just go to carrots first. 500 grams of carrots. Now, of course, the regular carrots are these little beauties. But when you go down the farmers' markets or in good supermarkets now, you'll notice there's heirloom varieties. These are kind of like the old-fashioned varieties. If you see them, please buy them, because if we don't buy them, they'll stop selling them. And I just love the array of different varieties. I'm just going to cut them at an angle into sort of 5-centimetre chunks, because they're going to have 4 hours in the oven with the meat, OK? So you don't want to cut them small, because they'll just dissolve into nothing. We want them to stand up to the cooking. So just add a little oil to your casserole pan, and we'll go in with those incredible carrots. So shake those in, and then next ingredient up, onions. 500 grams, white onions, red onions, whatever you can get your hands on is all good. I'm using one of each, and I want you to just peel it. If you just half it, and then just kind of bust them out of their natural shape into these lovely little petals, and they just cook so well in the stew, like that. So let's put the onions in with the carrots. So we got these on high heats. So we're getting a bit of colour happening here. Let's have a little look at the meat. Beautiful colour. And there's no oil in that pan, just natural fat rendering out. So I've turned all that meat. We're nearly there. The last couple of ingredients are Worcestershire sauce and mustard, whole grain mustard. What a combo. It's going to really bring all these flavours together. So let's go in. We're going to put it together now. It couldn't be any simpler. In we go. Oh, yes. And the bone. So we're back into one pot cooking now. And then we're going to go in with 120 millilitres of Worcestershire sauce. And then in with a couple of nice teaspoons of whole grain mustard. This is going to be a joyful combination. I'm going to top it up with just a little bit of boiling water, about 800 mils, but just to cover the bone. And then lid on top. The oven is at 160 degrees Celsius, which is 325 Fahrenheit. Now, let's just let the oven do all the work. The stew's had about 4 hours. Let's get it out. Oh, it smells amazing. Look at that. Oh, it's dark and moody. Right, come on, let's have a little look, see what's going on. Beautiful. And it just falls apart. Let's have a little look at the bone marrow. Just try and pour it out. Look at that. Loads of flavour right there. You can see all the way through it now. Let's serve up a little bit. What's beautiful is the meat is chunky, but you know the smallest amount of pressure, and that's just going to fall apart. Come on then, let's get in there. The beef shin is so tender and sweet. The thing I love about this dish is you can knock it together so quick and you let the oven do the work. Let the magic happen. The gravy is so, so good. Absolutely heavenly.
My melt-in-the-mouth mustardy beef. Simple comfort food that's loaded with flavour.
Yeah, 5.
Next up, my fail-safe baked saffron rice with a fast track to intense flavour.
I'm going to show you a fantastic rice side dish that you're absolutely going to love.
You'll need white basmati rice, natural yoghurt, sun-dried tomato paste, red onions, and 2 small pinches of saffron.
Baked rice, perfectly fluffy, crispy on the edges. We're going to flavour it with onions that are sweet, saffron that's perfumed, and gorgeous sun-blushed tomato paste. It's going to be so good. 300 grams of your regular basmati rice. Happy days. Then we're going to start adding layers of flavour. Now, I am going to show you the absorption method. What does that mean? It means to 300 grams of rice, we're going to use double the water. So by the time it's absorbed that water, it's perfectly cooked. We start with 2 little red onions here. We're going to peel these and finely chop these. Don't worry about it being perfect and accurate. It's still a rustic dish. And then what we'll do is we'll put a gas hob on fairly high heat with a little olive oil, and I'll add the onions. So we begin a little frying. So we're only using 1 tray. And let's finely slice the next one. We'll just add that to the tray. The minute you start frying, we're softening, we're sweetening. Nice pinch of salt and pepper. Give it a little bit of love by stirring the onions around. These trays are a little thinner than your frying pan, so they heat up quicker, but you can see the onions are getting soft and sweetening, and that's what we want to do. Now, this rice is going to go on a big flavour journey, and a really important part of that journey is boiling water. 600 millilitres of boiling water, and we're going to make a saffron infusion. Have a little look at this. Saffron blows my mind. It is one of the most fantastic ingredients, and this is going to completely change this dish. So we want that boiling water. It's like a cup of tea. It's going to completely infuse flavour like you wouldn't believe. So while we're on the saffron story, I'm going to get one of my other ingredients, which is yoghurt. And I'm a personal lover of yogurt and rice. I just want 4 nice tablespoons. Adds a nice bit of a fresh flavour that goes with this dish really, really well. And I just want a little teaspoon of the boiling liquid and put a pinch of saffron into that little bit of boiling water. And straight away, it's making a huge, huge difference. Just stir it through, and when you dollop that on your rice, it's another thing. The next bit is the tomato puree, but you can get sun-blushed tomato puree now. It really gives a depth and freshness of flavour. So 4 tablespoons of the sun-blushed tomato paste goes in to our onions. And then we'll mix that up, and then we'll follow it by our rice. And the rice isn't going to have a clue what's going on here. Sweet onions and sun-blushed tomato paste really getting wrapped around every single rice grain. So you're going to get lovely fluffy rice, and it will catch and go crispy around the top and the sides. Love that. You'll fight for the crispy bits. So we'll now go in with our incredible golden saffron water. As soon as this comes to the boil, like right now, right, we can whack that in the oven for about 15 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius, which is 400 degrees Fahrenheit. The thing I love about this rice dish is it smells so good in the room right now. It's had just over 15 minutes, and under there is the fluffiest, most delicious rice, and we're going to fork it up, okay? And that's all part of the joy. So this comes to the table. I like to use a couple of forks, and then we can kind of just get to work. You can see how light and fluffy that is, and I like to leave a little rim around the edge because that's a bit more gnarly and glorious. So let's just add a little bit of that saffron yogurt, little bombs of refreshing flavour. It's so good. It's almost, you know, in my head, like a complete meal in itself. You could have it with a lovely little salad, just as that. Beautiful. So let's have a little try. I just like to get in there and look. That's what I'm talking about. Really crispy. And then, of course, you've got the real fluffy stuff. They're beautiful colours. A little bit more of that yogurt. I love the ripples of the saffron in the yogurt. So let's just go straight in. One of my ultimate comfort foods. Good rice, cooked well, just makes me feel really, really happy. It's so blooming good. I just love it, and I can't wait for you to try it.
My brilliantly easy baked saffron rice. So good, you'll want to make a meal of it.
Back to reality.
This is my quick and easy food. A delicious set of go-to recipes for those of you who love your grub but don't have the time or energy for complicated cooking. Using just 5 simple ingredients, these recipes are quick to cook, easy to remember, and outrageously tasty. Next, steamed salmon niçoise. Clever one-pan cooking and fantastic fresh flavours fast.
Salmon niçoise is an absolute classic, and this is a beautiful version. It's a little lighter, a little fresher, and I think utterly beautiful.
You'll need salmon fillets, green beans, free-range eggs, black olives, and Greek yoghurt.
It's really easy to make. It's got a nice little method around boiling and steaming. I've got some lovely salmon, 120 grams, organic salmon. Look at that. They have been scaled and they've been pin-boned, and it's going to be gorgeous. So we are going to put our salmon fillets skin side down into this colander. There's just like a couple of inches of water boiling, but this colander's not touching the water. It's just got the vapour coming through. And steaming, I think, is a really underrated cooking method. It's really clean, it's really fresh. It's actually really efficient and fast. So 8 minutes of steaming will beautifully cook the salmon to perfection. The next bit is the green beans. These need 6 minutes of boiling. 300 grams, give them a little whack like that. Let all the ends come together. Trim them off nicely. And then this end here with all the little tails, absolutely love that. So they're done. So this has had 2.5 minutes now. So we'll bring the colander out. We'll pop in the French beans. We'll add a little seasoning as well and let that boil. Now let's talk about the perfect boiled egg. This takes 5.5 minutes. Perfect every single time, and that's a large egg. So we're gonna triple use these pans. So just get a spoon and lower the egg in. Beautiful. Salmon back on.
Using just 1 pan of water for all 3 ingredients is a speedy little shortcut.
And exactly 5.5 minutes from now, the salmon will be perfect, the beans will be perfect, and the egg will be perfect. So while that's cooking, it's time to make a dressing for those beautiful hot beans. Classically, you'd have a French dressing. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna really big up some gorgeous organic Greek yogurt. You can get it everywhere. To flavour it, I'm gonna use some olives, some really beautiful black olives. Try and buy olives with the stone in. You'll always get a better, more fragrant olive. 8 olives is all I need. So I'm just gonna put my weight onto the olive and squash each individual one. And then the stones come out really easily. These are lovely Kalamata olives. They're gorgeous. And then I wanna finely chop these. And you want roughly half to one side here. I'm gonna make a nice tapenade. Basically minced or chopped black or green olives, and half there for the dressing. So we'll go in with 1 tablespoon of olive oil and 1 tablespoon of red wine vinegar. Tiny bit of salt. You can have a bit of pepper if you want. And then we're gonna go in with 2 heaped tablespoons of our lovely Greek yogurt. Spoon that together, and you're gonna get the most wonderful, creamy olive dressing. Really beautiful. It's gonna be really nice over those hot beans. So, the salmon is done. Very fresh, a really nice way to do it. I'm gonna grab my eggs out, and then I will drain these beans. What I wanna do is keep those beans nice and hot, but these eggs, they're too hot to handle. So just run them under cold water, just for 30 seconds. I'll put these beans back in the pan, cover with our gorgeous dressing. Give it a nice toss. It smells incredible. And of course, that residual heat from the beans is bringing out even more flavour from the olives. Okay, so time to plate up. On we go. It's really creamy. I love a dressing like that. Time for our salmon. So we'll just flake this over the salad. Big bits, small bits, beautiful. And then it's egg time. Yeah, it's coming off easy. Let's see if we got it right. In the middle, yay! So, we've got our eggs done. Just place that around our beautiful little dish here. And then you've got that last little bit of tapenade. That tiny bit of salty, kind of savoury flavour. Not only looks good, but it's absolutely delicious. And then last but not least, just a little pinch of pepper. Tiny bit of extra virgin. So look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Such a pretty plate. There is one missing ingredient. Oh yeah, I forgot. Beautiful lunch, beautiful dinner. Little glass of wine. That really is a joy to eat. 5 ingredients really coming together and working really hard. So good.
Simple salmon niçoise. My perfect little fresh and fast salad.
5.
Next, my plum Tatt Tan. Baking that's incredibly easy and outrageously tasty.
We are going to make the most amazing dessert. We're going to do a Tatt Tan. You will not believe that we can do this so quickly and so beautifully with 5 ingredients.
You'll need mixed juicy plums, ground cinnamon, maple syrup, all butter puff pastry, and vanilla ice cream.
Inspired by Canada, right? Maple syrup, cinnamon, beautiful seasonal plums. So it starts here with pre-bought all butter puff pastry. It's many layers of pastry and butter and pastry and butter. So much care and love goes into making this. It's an amazing thing for sweet or savoury items. So there's our pastry already done. Now, we're going to get this going so quickly you will not believe.
Use a 26cm non-stick oven-proof frying pan.
Let's get it on a high heat and let's get our lovely plums. 600 grams You can use these or represent whatever is fantastic and in season, right? Peaches, apricots. I've even done it with rhubarb, really nice. So just run the knife around, twist it, just get that little stone, pull it out, put the fruit straight into the pan. I'm just going to add a splash of water, a couple of tablespoons, just to soften up the plums a little bit. Little shake up. And then the maple syrup. Liquid heaven. I mean, what is lovelier than maple syrup? 120 millilitres goes into the pan. Give it a little chivvy around, bring it to the boil, and now it's spice time. So we're going to use a little level teaspoon of cinnamon. You've got to go subtle on this stuff, though. Just a level teaspoon goes in, sprinkle it in from a height. It smells incredible, and that's it. It's pretty much done. All I want to do now is let's get the puff pastry, turn it out, and I'll put it straight onto the pan. No mucking about. Straight in like that. And then we can pull in the pastry. Right, almost push the fruit into the middle.
Don't use your fingers at home. Use wooden spoons.
So really push your pastry into the sides. And then you can see here the little bits of maple syrup and fruit juices getting in there. And that sort of jammy, juicy part will really caramelise on that edge of the puff pastry. It'll be the most beautiful bit. So in the oven it goes. I like to put it in the bottom of the oven for 15 to 20 minutes at 220 degrees Celsius or 425 Fahrenheit, and it'll be golden, crisp, it'll be jammy and caramelised around the edge, the fruit will be beautiful. What I would suggest you do now is get some nice quality vanilla ice cream, either in the fridge or at room temperature, and by the time that's ready, that'll be perfectly scoopable.
Check your pud after quarter of an hour. That's all it takes to puff your pastry to perfection.
It looks amazing. Just have a little look at it as it is, blipping away, caught, gnarly, steaming. But if we let it cool down, it's going to stick to the pan. So we need to turn it out quick. So to do this, you want to be a little bit careful because, you know, caramel's hot. Sleeves down. Put something like a platter or a board on top of our beautiful Tatt Tan. And with confidence, grab the pan, nice and safely. Grab the board and do a nice little twist. 1, 2, 3.
Be extra careful. Make sure you've got a firm grip and flip.
The colours are phenomenal. Get all of the caramel out of the pan. Look at that. The fruit, the juice, the caramel, you know, the cinnamon's there, the maple syrup. Come on! Let's portion some up. So you're going to get 6 out of this. So a nice, generous wodge. Come on, look at that. It's so beautiful. So over to the plate. And then vanilla ice cream, an absolute must with this. And where you've cut that beautiful portion, just get some juice in and just put that over the top. And if you've got good cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil, tiny, tiny little drizzle over the vanilla ice cream. It's amazing. Enough talking. Time to tuck in. I want to get a bit of everything. What I love is that where it kind of gets burnt and caught around the edges, they're my favourite bits. What a delicious, delicious and very beautiful dessert that is. 5 ingredients, very simple.
My ridiculously easy plum Tatt Tan. A pleasure to cook and a joy to share. So there you have it, my speedy fuss-free menu to see you through the week. My melt-in-the-mouth mustardy beef stew, unbelievable baked saffron rice, my super-fast salmon niçoise, and that perfect pud, plum Tatt Tan. My 5-ingredient food that's quick to cook and easy to remember. Next time, 4 more delicious dishes for those of you who love your grub but don't have the time or energy for complicated cooking. Using just 5 simple ingredients, each recipe is ridiculously tasty, unbelievably impressive, but all quick and easy.